a yard. He needed that yard to jump up and get that pass. That's a great pass by Elway. And once again, McCaffrey coming back, making the play when you need it. This guy comes up with big plays all the time.
38-6, Denver leading. 7:48 to go. Marcus Dowdell taking the kickoff, crossing the 20, out to the 22.
The thing about that touchdown, though, where is the pressure? Now, John Elway needs to be able to see down the center of the field and throw this pass. I see one white shirt. You got to have somebody in the throwing lane and appreciate this throw. You know, they say it's a game of inches. That's about 2 inches over Tito Paul's glove. And he's just a rookie. You got to learn to forget about plays like that. You know, he's going to have a lot more plays to make and a lot more chances to make big plays.
Elway has had a remarkable day. Mike Buck now takes over at quarterback in place of David Craig. And he dumps it off to Frank Sanders, who picks up a couple of yards. We remind you this game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited. Well, Mike Buck getting a chance in relief.
Yeah, you know, he's bounced around. He was New Orleans Saints in training camp last year. Bounced out of there, bounced over here.
Throws a bullet. Catch made by Sanders on the far side of the field, or rather Edwards, good enough for a first down.
Yeah, the thing I remember about Mike Buck, he came in the game, in the Philadelphia game earlier in the year. And he had some decent throws. He did move the team down the field. Critics will say, well, that's because the Eagles were in soft zones and they were ahead and all that kind of stuff. But I think he's got the ability to make some decent throws. He is a veteran. He has been around for at least 5 years.
And they hand it off center, still giving it all he has out to the 40. Well, at the end of this game, Ron and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game, and we have it. Really, it comes down to two. Davis, a marvelous day rushing the football for the Broncos, and of course, the boy of autumn, if you will, and John Elway. Incomplete, looking for Sanders. Well, John Elway.
I think John is hoping that he gets a chance to get back out there and throw a quick out for about 12 yards.
That's right, and put it to rest and then get lifted.
And then come off the field.
Well, how many years has Elway been around? He's a year older than his position coach, Gary Kubiak. They both were drafted the same year. Kubiak by the Broncos, Elway by the Baltimore Colts. Down goes Buck. And this time, Dronette gets a sack without a penalty.
Dronette doing the forklift right there to scoop him up. Finally, Dronette made a clean tackle. That's a good job. Now, didn't grab the face mask, didn't hit him late. Well, this is the time of the game when, if you're Denver, you're thinking about getting those stats up. You're thinking about your incentives at the end of the year. You might have one for 10 grand, 20 grand. You want to work on that right now.
Eagles punts it away. Milburn at the 19. And he changes direction.
There goes the ball.
And yep, it's loose. Scramble for the football. Waiting, and it is Arizona football after the fumble by Milburn.
Well, Glenn Milburn's a guy that has really had to swallow his pride with Davis coming in here, taking over that running back position. He's been pretty much relegated to just kickoff returns and punt returns. You know, once again, fighting for extra yards is usually where you fumble the ball.
Simon Shanks, a rookie, covered it up. 5:34 to go, all Denver.
Town, but they know where to watch football, don't they?
Yes, they do.
That's big time. That's nice, boy.
Well, we are back in Denver, where it's been all Broncos today. 38-6 with 5:34 left. Mike Buck still at quarterback, on for Dave Craig. And they're coming after him. Ball's in the air and intercepted. Yes, it's picked the first man to make contact, and getting up off the bottom of the pile, third-year pro Jeff Robinson.
Boy, they sent the house after Buck. Keith Burns, a linebacker on top, 56, there he is. He's just going to come around the corner. And he sneaks in there late. That was the problem. They also brought Elijah Alexander. They brought everybody.
Well, the crowd well aware.
Great interception. Robinson knows that ball's in the air and goes and gets it. Good awareness.
Yeah, they're getting ready to say the crowd aware is a flashing on the scoreboard that John Elway needs just 11 yards to reach 40,000 in his career. And let's see if they go after it on the very first play.
There it is.
Here we go. This is probably going to do it. It will. Catch made by Aaron Craver, and John Elway celebrated in Denver.
You remember yesterday we talked to John's father, Jack Elway, who's in the scouting department with the Broncos, and we asked him about this record and everything, and he said, yeah, it'd be nice to see that. It'd really be something. I know he's there along with John's mother, Jan, and they're excited about it. That's a big accomplishment.
Unquestionably the most popular athlete in Denver sports history.
Without a doubt.
And Bill Musgrave will take over for John Elway. Well, what does he mean to the Broncos? Consider this. They have never won a game in the 1990s without him as their starting quarterback. They're 0-6 when he hasn't played, and here are the other two joining the initial 5. Warren Moon also eclipsing 40,000 today.
Well, I tell you, that's throwing for a lot of yards, you know, and what goes along with this is being durable for the most part. You know, you take a look at Fouts and Marino, they just done an awful lot of throwing, but John Elway, he's not always had a great offensive line. I think he does now, and they protect him, but he's taken a share of hits and has been able to survive that punishment throughout the years.
And the give is to Milburn in a cleanup roll. Flag comes in, and there should have been one.
Against the defense, number 5. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
He said 95. He said 95. That's Jameer Miller. Let's watch it here. Now, they missed the hold on Jameer Miller, but they get the face mask. And that's a 15-yard one there. He spins his head around 3 times. All you need to do is stick his heels together and hope for Kansas play. He worked him on that one. Wow.
Well, Buddy Ryan's team, the last 4 games, including today, Denver has given up, or rather the Cardinals have given up a boatload of points and a boatload of yards, despite a 2-game winning streak coming in. The other way is Reggie Rivers, and he's buried at the 30 by Terry Hogue.
Now, let's go back to the points we talked about in the beginning of the show. This is for the Broncos. We said they had to score, get touchdowns in the red area inside the 20. They've done that. This kind of happened not by their doing, but nature took care of that one. Swan not feeling good coming out in the beginning of the game. The quick passes, we saw that all game long. That fake on the play action, the quick rollout, and the quick dump. That hurts the 46 defense because there's so much aggression, so much blitzing. It's hard for the linebackers to get back and react in passing zones.
Elway has been lifted from the game, leading 38-6. Bill Musgrave on in relief. Hill on the stop of Milburn. And on the other side, the Cardinals didn't do what they had to do.
Well, they didn't take care of Michael Dean Perry. I mean, he didn't have a whole lot of sacks, but he had tackles, and he had what we can't see here, pressures. He was in Dave Craig's face. Centers, not a whole lot, and I would like to have seen him get the ball more. This is your leading receiver right here. You got to get him more than that. Blitz but cover. Aeneas Williams got caught on the one touchdown, the deep one, and we just saw Tito Paul. He got caught too. If you're going to blitz, you got to know that your corners got tough jobs back here. They got to stay one-on-one and stay with him.
Musgrave getting a completion of his own to Evans, who has a first down close to the 15. Now, John Elway, if you're just joining us, becoming the 7th player in NFL history to surpass 40,000 yards passing in a season. They tell us Elway here in Denver receives over 600 pieces of fan mail a week during the season. That's the same as the Broncos' other 50 or so players combined.
That's about what I get.
Really? How do you handle all that?
I have a secretary.
Yeah. You better be careful.
Yeah.
Now they get off a play just prior to 2 minutes left. Miller breaks a couple of tackles, and Joyner hangs on to the 3. That brings us down to the 2-minute warning. Elway and the Broncos having a big time at home. Stadium in Denver. All Broncos today. Our Miller Lite player of the game, Terrell Davis. 135 yards rushing, a career high. It's his first 100-yard rushing day as a pro. The rookie out of Georgia, 6th-round pick.
Well, at least now he doesn't have to pay for his shoes like he had to at Long Beach State before he transferred to Georgia. I imagine after today he'll get all the shoes he wants for free.
They said they didn't get enough at Long Beach State. Well, they're going to just take a knee and run out the clock here rather than run it up on the Cardinals, and the fans never like that idea.
Yeah. They want to see somebody get hurt. They want to, see a nice big goal line play with 22 guys all up in a big pile.
Well, Mike Shanahan, his first season as the head man in Denver, 42 years old, out of Oak Park, Illinois. And Buddy Ryan, his team will slip to 3-6, ending a 2-game win streak. But the story today has been that man, as he normally is every week for the Broncos over his 13th season. Have you seen many better than John Elway? Of course, he's never won a Super Bowl. That is the one knock, Ron. He's won an MVP, been to 3 Super Bowl games, and now he'll come over and say thanks to so many fans.
Yeah, the thing about it that makes John Elway so great is that, number one, he's a good guy, and his team likes him, and he's just not the stud quarterback, that can throw his weight around. He's always buying his offensive linemen rings, watches, boots, all that kind of stuff. He takes care of his people, and the rest of the team likes him too. And it helps when you can throw the ball like he can throw it and make things happen.
Now 38-6 Denver. John Elway, the story today. Elway throwing for 3 touchdown passes on the afternoon. As the Broncos march on, and they jump over the 500 mark after a real tough loss 2 weeks ago against Kansas City.
Yeah, and the weather, and I know he was happy to come out and open those curtains this morning and see that the weather was really good, and he didn't have to go to that glove deal.
Well, we'll be back to wrap up today's action between the Arizona Cardinals and the Denver Broncos right after these messages.
Trying to force it into overtime. 2 minutes to go. We're going to force it into overtime. The only thing Neil O'Donnell has to do is just be patient and don't try to get it all right here. 1st and